Don't water a grease fire, don't mess with a garage spring. What are some more potentially life-saving tips? Ada. Some amazing suggestions, keep them coming.
Don't put your finger any place you wouldn't put your
Don't interfere in a domestic dispute, the odds are extremely high they will both turn on you.
If you find someone unconscious in a confined space, don't go in.
When changing a tire, take the tire off and stick it under the one. If someone is getting electrocuted, drop kick the out of them.
Wear a helmet in cases you need one. If you ask, should I be wearing one? The answer is yes.
Don't on the electric fence.
Look both ways before crossing the street.
I'm a trainer in an industrial environment and I use this exact saying when I'm training younger guys. It gets their attention.
Lol, grease trap, not today.
The best you can get. The Absolute worked with a guy who bicycled to work and in his spare time and always wore a helmet. One day he was knocked over by car while cycling, so hard that the helmet was broken to pieces. Yet he seemed okay when he gathered himself. The hospital found nothing. Year later he dropped dead suddenly while taking a shower. We'll always wonder. As a student teacher I taught kindergarteners to do this. Later, I student taught 4th and 5th graders who didn't know how to do this.
And check the air pressure in your spare every once in a while, for sake.
Never grab a wire if you don't know what it is and where it goes. Never walk. Run alone with headphones on. Every gun is always loaded. And if a partner gets physical during an argument, specifically if they put their hands on your neck, leave.
As long as we're doing car tips, don't even think of touching a hot radiator cap.
She has a.
Don't talk to the cops, ever, get a lawyer.
If something is free, you are not the customer.
Bill Cosby has left the chat.
Never get involved in a land war in Asia, and never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
Have someone spot you when you go up or assume firearms are loaded. Always mix bleach with the away from downs you get mugged, give them what they want. Don't be in an unfamiliar place or city, maintain situational awareness out in public.
Don't get under a car if it's only on a car jack. Don't answer trap questions, only break one law at a time.
If you have to use a chainsaw and a ladder, don't do it. Leave it to the pros.
Your shirt tail is enough protection for your hand, right?
A friend of mine got fired from his job at the sandwich shop for putting his in the bread slicer. Turns out she was the boss's daughter.
Wear protective glasses when trimming the yard, cutting wood, etc. Your eyes will thank you.
Don't pull the mask on the lone mess around with Jim.
If you're in Africa and you see a beautiful insect, don't touch it. If it's a snake, stay well away.
Always wear your safety glasses and earplugs. You damage those organs and nothing is coming back.
I do a lot of general maintenance in commercial if you're not sure of what you're doing. Just don't do confirm power is off with a meter. Don't what that means. Don't touch if handling or near something you can't lift with one hand and it's falling or tipping. Just get out of the danger, stay out signs are posted for a reason. The threat may not be obvious to you, and that's the don't do any amount of stretching off a ladder. Of all the dangerous tasks and things we deal with, ladder falls are the #1 thing guys miss work due to injury from. It doesn't take a high fall to hurt or you.
Nephew is an emergency room, stick anything up your butt that wasn't designed for such things and can be pulled out.
If the product is free, you are the product.
Or even out in the open. Case in point being electrocution.
The cops do not want clarity, they want evidence. They even tell you, everything you say can and will be used against.
If something gets stuck in a snowblower, do not put your hand in to get it out. The pressure of the lodged object creates stored energy in the spinners and will release and chop off whatever's inside once the object is dislodged.
Similarly, don't commit more than one felony at a time.
Can't stress this enough. Ended up in hospital because of this.
Own a good first aid kit with a tourniquet, life-threatening blood loss, an aspirin, heart attack.
Don't underestimate water, good swimmers drown all the time.
Oof reminds me of that story of the multiple sailors dying trying to save each other in the anchor well.
If you have children or children who play in your neighborhood, always double-check the area around your car before driving away. Just because they were standing in one place when you got in the vehicle does not mean they are still there.
Never grab a wire. Use the back of your hand.
Adding on, never skimp on any PPE. Job-related or not, you have one body and one life. Take care of yourself.
Don't break the law when you're breaking the law.
Knew a guy years ago who dropped a chainsaw while standing on his roof and the dude tried to catch it. His hand was torn but he was okay otherwise.
If it doesn't have a flared base, it's not going in. Even then, make sure it's the right size. I've seen intended to go there, flare and all, like it's a damn DVD player.
The rule we use in construction, don't let your belt buckle leave the ladder. If you don't have a belt buckle, go buy a belt.
I always say treat all firearms as loaded at all times, especially when you think it's unloaded.
The basic rules of gun safety. 1. Every gun is always loaded. It doesn't matter if you just unloaded it, it's loaded. It's not treated as if it's loaded, it is loaded. Never break that mentality. 2. Never aim a gun at something you aren't willing to entirely obliterate, and never at a person or finger off the trigger until you are about to shoot. 4. Know definitively what your target is, and what is behind this is one I've added to the list. Blanks are not safe either. Do not be fooled into thinking that they are. They can still be incredibly powerful and dangerous.
Don't doubt your gut, man. Intuition is a lifesaver in and of itself.
Never rob a bank across the road from a diner with the best donuts in the Tri-County area.
Is this true, or do you just want me grabbing my when I die? If the jack fails, the car falls on the tire you've removed instead of you, your hands, your leg, what have you. That extra bit of protection.
Most amateur hobbyists know this already. Do NOT with the electrical systems of microwaves unless you are 110% certain the capacitor has been discharged safely. Those things can hold enough energy to instantly the out of you.
A jack alone is not enough. Your life is worth more than the gasket holding the hydraulic pressure. Always use 3 points of contact. Jack, stand and a wheel under the car. Once you've raised and secured JT, before you get under it, shake the whole car. Try to get it to fall. If it doesn't, as it shouldn't, check and recheck your jack and stands. Only then get under the car. And have a spotter that can call 911 within earshot. If they need to go inside for a bathroom break, get your out from under the car until they get back.
Burning buildings aren't cozy, warm, brightly lit, well-ventilated places that Hollywood thinks they are. They are extremely hot suffocation tombs with poor visibility. Don't try to be a hero. Don't go into one.
Don't turn your back on the ocean. The distance across a body of water is much farther than it looks.
Only one body? I got like 5 in the freezer.
Maybe kind of a silly one, but please wash your hands. To die of a curable disease or illness due to a lack of proper hygiene is a sad and pathetic way to die.
With proper safety squints it is.
Keep a flotation device between you and a drowning person, even if they're smaller than you. Even if they look unconscious.
Sleep with your door shut. Unlike ghosts, fire can't go through doors. Been to a couple house fires where one room was totally burnt up, and on the other side of the door there was just some smoke marks.
Never work under a vehicle supported only by a jack. Never use gasoline as an accelerant or starting fluid. If something tripped a breaker or blew a fuse, there's probably a good reason why. You could start a fire if you don't find the cause. Don't use a soldering iron on a carpeted surface. Private property and no trespassing signs are there for a reason. Don't get shot, or tripped up in. A wife wants to add, don't ever mess around with someone's fabric scissors.
Vegas wasn't built on winners. Don't put your in crazy. It's okay to seek help for your depression. It doesn't make you less of a man. Male suicide rates are far higher than any other. Finish high school, GED if not, and get the out of your hometown if it's one people never leave. Act like you've been there before. Whatever situation, post-nut clarity is underrated.
Down power lines can you without you touching them. Don't go close. If you are close, keep feet close together and take tiny shuffle steps to get away. If you are on a piece of equipment that has touched a power line, do not get off unless you must. If you must, jump off. And land as far away as you can and still land on your feet without touching your hands to the ground. Never touch both the ground and the touch a person who's touching live wiring and needs help to remove themselves. Use something non-conductive to knock them away, lumber, broom handle, etc.